To answer question 1 of the evaluation process in my media coursework, I'm going to talk about what my actual product was about. Now, my product was a horror film opening, and I researched other horror film openings and I used all the codes and conventions in them to create my own, and mine was about 2 bullies taking a victim to an isolated area and then being attacked by the expected antagonist. And it used discordant music, and it was all very, very tense when watching it, and my target audience would agree on me with that. Now, to get all the codes and conventions and learn them, I actually went on YouTube and I watched the Jeepers Creepers 2 film opening, and then I watched Dawn of the Dead. And the codes and conventions, well, the typical codes and conventions I learned were the dark lightning that connoted fear, the black and red text, red connoting blood, black therefore reinforcing the fear, discordant music suggests that it's tense, the antagonist, the typical antagonist that could be inhuman or unidentifiable, and the inferior victim that's attacked by the antagonist. And also located areas, isolated areas, the areas that not much people go around and look at. And these were all very clear in the Jeepers Creepers 2 opening, because as I watched it, I saw that Jeepers Creepers 2 had the typical inhuman antagonist that was unidentifiable, and he was reinforced, like the tension of him being there was reinforced by slow durated shots, so that made it very effective. And it used discordant music that was very harsh on the ears to listen to and made you stay on the edge of your seat, the helpless victim, and isolated areas again. So all these codes and conventions were within Jeepers Creepers 2, and then I took them and put them in my own product, and I used slow durated shots, and I used an unidentifiable antagonist so he couldn't be seen and no one would know who he is, and this would create an enigma. And then I used the typical inferior victim and the isolated area that it is set. So all of it was very similar to Jeepers Creepers 2, and that's when I knew that I was using the same codes and conventions. However, there was differences. My work was reinforced by minor antagonists as well, such as the bullies. So they were kind of the minor antagonists that the audience knew were bad, but knew something was greater than them on a hierarchy of dominance. And they were also the common ideology of the people that everyone can associate with as well, so it added a lot of realism, and this then reinforced the appearance of the inhuman antagonist that no one knew looked like. And the only thing that was not in Jeepers Creepers, which is a code and convention, was the intertitles. Now, there wasn't any intertitles on Jeepers Creepers 2's film opening. However, in the Dawn of the Dead film opening, that's when I researched a very different style of film opening, and this consisted of lots of inhuman antagonists, but it did consist of lots of intertitles, and these intertitles were integrated within short segments of the film, short shot durations, so this built tension, and it also used red text that connoted blood, and it had an effect as well, which created a very good flowy effect. And my film opening was equally as fast at some points. At the very start, it used integrated titles with red text, and my titles also used bold red font. Now, that reinforced the horror genre because it was red again, which connoted blood, heart rate, and stuff like that, everything you'd associate with a horror. But the differences with mine to Dawn of the Dead, which did challenge the conventions, was my film had discordant music, whereas Dawn of the Dead used very melodic music, which created ironic ambience, whereas mine was very different, and it used very low music, very dark music that people felt nervous listening to. And mine doesn't vary in location either. Dawn of the Dead did. It looked like it was actually archive footage, whereas mine it had a narrative, it was at the same place, same location, and mine doesn't consist of lots of antagonists, so that's again why it's similar to Jeepers Creepers 2. Overall, I did follow the codes and conventions of Jeepers Creepers 2 by using similar shot types and codes, but with Dawn of the Dead, I feel like I did challenge the codes and conventions. I wouldn't say to make it worse, I would say, in my opinion, to make it better, but that's what happens if I want to, you know, appeal to my audience and make them want to see my film, and my target audience have all said they really enjoy it, so I feel like challenging the codes and conventions was a positive to my work. But overall, I am very happy with the research I undertook to create my product. Thank you.